Hi, boys and girls. My name is Mrs. Church. I am Daniel and Benjamin's mom, and today I've come to share with you a book. This book is called Roberto the Insect Architect, and it is by the author and illustrator Nina Laden. I am excited to share this book with you for a few reasons. One is I think it's really fun to read and listen to because the author really plays with her words. So while we're listening to the story, I encourage you to keep your ear out for sounds or phrases that might sound familiar but maybe a little different than you expect. It's also a really nice story because it's about a bug who follows his dreams and becomes successful. I'm especially excited to share this story with you because Nina Laden, who wrote the book and drew the pictures, is going to be joining us for a virtual visit at Marvin at the end of the month. And so I think it's exciting that we'll get to hear some of her stories before she comes and visits us. So, here's the book. I hope you enjoy. Even when Roberto was little, he went against the grain. Like most termites, he melted over maple and pined for pine. Oak was okay too, but Roberto didn't eat his food. He played with it. "You're wasting a good meal," his mother said. "Don't you know there are termites starving in Antarctica?" But Roberto didn't answer. He was busy dreaming about becoming a famous architect. "Who ever heard of a termite who wanted to be an architect?" the other termites snickered. "Roberto, you should be a chef." But Roberto didn't want to cook. He wanted to build. Hungry to start a new life, Roberto realized he had to leave. So Roberto packed his bags and took the train to Bug Central Station, in the busy, buzzing hive of the big city. The city was a place where you could build your dreams. It was a place where you would be accepted. It was a place where other termites wouldn't bug you. Roberto beamed hope like a lit-up skyscraper. But hope didn't come cheap in the big city. Neither did a place to live. Roberto had no choice but to rent a room in a flea-bag hotel run by a nervous tick. He shared the room with a family of bedbugs. Roberto introduced himself, and then he built the bedbugs their very own beds. You can see their little beds over here. After a good night's sleep, Roberto began to look for work as an architect. But things didn't go very well. "Show me what you've done," said the architect, Hank Floyd Might. "There are no termites in my houses," stated Fleas Vanderohe. "I'm busy," Antonia Gaude blurted out. "Don't bug me." As Roberto crawled home, feeling like a pest, he was sideswiped by a fly. "Watch where you're going," he mumbled. The fly started to cry. "But I don't have any place to go," she lamented. Roberto wanted to comfort her, but he was nearly nailed by a carpenter ant trying to fix a rickety shed. Then, out of nowhere, Roberto was almost run over by a stampede of roaches being chased from a diner. And suddenly a frantic ladybug flew into his arms. "My house is on fire and my children are gone," the ladybug cried. Roberto could see that he wasn't the only bug with problems. In fact, his problems didn't seem so big after all. Roberto wished he could do something for the others. But what could one termite do? "A lot of damage," Fleas van der Rohe had told him. "I'll show old Fleas what this termite can do. I'll show them all," said Roberto. Back at the hotel, Roberto came up with a plan. First, he drew up some blueprints. He sketched houses and streets. He sketched stores and playgrounds. By the time he was finished, he had sketched an entire neighborhood. "Now I just have to find a good location," he declared. Roberto searched all over the city for the perfect site. He finally found an abandoned, run-down block of crumbling buildings. It was a total mess. There were piles of old wood and garbage everywhere. It was just what he was looking for. Roberto hammered and nailed. He sawed and sanded. He worked day and night. Like a magician, he transformed the block of junk into a street of extraordinary homes. Each one was a work of art, but Roberto didn't sign his artwork. Instead, he anonymously sent the keys to the new owners. Then he rolled up his plans and went home. Some very surprised bugs went home, too. Tudor, the fly with no place to go, buzzed with delight. "I'm a housefly again," she declared. Then Grant, the carpenter ant, arrived. He dropped his tool belt on the porch. "Now I can have a real workshop," he beamed. The roaches were the next ones on the scene. "You won't find us sleeping in salads anymore," they rejoiced. Finally, Dottie the ladybug and her children moved into their new lair. "It's perfect," she sighed, "and fireproof." You can see their houses, and each one is unique and made of the trash that Roberto found. Quickly, word spread. Soon everyone wanted to know who built these amazing abodes. Rumors were flying. Antennae were buzzing. Barbara Waterbugs wanted an exclusive interview. Robin Leach promised to make the builder rich and famous. Diane Spider searched the World Wide Web for the scoop. Stephen Shieldbug wanted the movie rights. And the Insect Inquirer offered a reward to the first bug who brought the builder to light. After all day long, bounty hunting butterflies took wing. Paper wasps swarmed the streets. Bold weevils crawled out of the woodwork. But late at night, a click beetle got the shot. The next morning, headlines screamed the news. Termite chips new homes out of old blocks. "It's Roberto," Tooter hummed. "He's our hero." Overnight, Roberto became the talk of the town. Architects offered him jobs. Book publishers wanted his story. Ladybugs sent him love letters. And his bug buddies threw him a big bash. At the height of the party, the mayor unveiled a statue of Roberto to be placed in the city park. Roberto built his dream. He opened his own company and became the most famous architect in the insect world. Students studied him in school. Some of his houses even became museums. But best of all, when little termites play with their food, now their parents say, "Be creative. Maybe someday you'll grow up to be just like Roberto." And that is the end. I hope you enjoyed our story, Roberto the Insect Architect, that was written and drawn by Nina Laden. And maybe you can start thinking of some questions that you might want to ask Nina when she comes to visit us. Bye.